During World War II, the Nazi regime launches a secret and dangerous economic operation. Inside concentration camps, prisoners are forced to produce near-perfect counterfeit British currency on a massive scale. The objective isn't just profit, it's destruction. By flooding Great Britain with fake money, they aim to destabilize the entire financial system, triggering chaos that could help Germany win the war without firing a single bullet. Suitcases packed with forged banknotes are quietly transported by train, moving closer to their target with every passing day. Meanwhile, in Birmingham, England, life continues under constant threat. Inside a weapons factory, a group of women push through exhaustion and fear as air raid sirens echo in the distance. Despite the danger, they try to hold on to a sense of humanity. They gather around one worker to celebrate her birthday, singing softly and lighting a small candle. For a brief moment, the war feels far away, but that illusion is shattered instantly when a bomb crashes through the building. The explosion tears the factory apart, killing everyone inside and leaving nothing but fire and silence behind. Far from the chaos of the city, Thomas Shelby lives alone in the countryside. Once feared and respected as the leader of the Peaky Blinders, he has now abandoned that life completely. He spends his days writing his autobiography, attempting to make sense of everything he's done and everything he's lost. When his loyal companion Johnny informs him that Birmingham has been bombed, Tommy barely reacts. His face remains cold, distant, almost empty, as if he's already disconnected himself from the world. As Tommy continues writing, he hears a phone ringing in the house. The sound feels intrusive, almost unnatural. When he moves to disconnect it, he senses movement outside. For a brief second, he sees someone running across his yard. He rushes to investigate, but no one is there. Instead, he finds a red scarf hanging from a tree branch. Back at his desk, Tommy admits in his writing that he's been haunted by visions of his dead daughter. Her presence lingers in his mind, blurring the line between memory and reality. The scarf, however, is real, and he can't explain how it appeared. Unable to ignore it, he eventually takes it to his brother's grave and leaves it there, as if trying to bury whatever meaning it carries. Not long after, his sister Ada arrives. She brings news of the factory bombing and the growing instability in Birmingham. She urges Tommy to come back, to take control before things spiral completely out of control, but Tommy refuses. He insists that he's no longer that man, that he's done with violence and power. Ada, frustrated and emotional, reminds him that he hasn't even been present in his own children's lives. Still, Tommy refuses to return, convinced that his absence is better than his presence. Back in Birmingham, the aftermath of the factory explosion is still unfolding when the Peaky Blinders arrive. Led by Duke, they push past police resistance and force their way into the ruined building. Without hesitation, they begin collecting weapons that survived the blast. When the factory owner protests, Duke claims he has official authorization, brushing aside any objections. His right-hand man, Elijah, openly threatens anyone who tries to interfere. When the situation escalates, violence breaks out. Duke personally strikes the owner, and his crew quickly overpower the workers who attempt to defend what's left of the factory. Within minutes, the Peaky Blinders walk away with everything of value, leaving behind fear and resentment. When Ada returns to the city, she's immediately confronted by angry locals. They blame the Peaky Blinders for worsening their situation, accusing them of taking advantage of tragedy instead of helping. The tension in Birmingham is rising, and the Shelby name is no longer respected the way it once was. At a local pub, Duke meets a man named Beckett, a Nazi agent with a dangerous proposal. Beckett reveals the scale of their operation, hundreds of millions in counterfeit pounds, ready to be distributed across Britain. He offers the Peaky Blinders a percentage of the profits in exchange for their help. The deal is risky, but the reward is massive. When Beckett mentions that his superiors originally wanted to work with Tommy, Duke reacts with frustration. Determined to prove himself, he accepts the deal and agrees to demonstrate his loyalty. Meanwhile, Tommy encounters a mysterious woman named K.O. She bears a striking resemblance to Duke's late mother, which immediately unsettles him. K.O. claims to be her twin sister and insists that she can communicate with the dead through visions and dreams. She warns Tommy that Duke is becoming involved with dangerous forces that could destroy everything connected to their family and heritage. Although Johnny later warns Tommy that K.O. might be manipulating him, Tommy chooses to listen. Something about her words, and the knowledge she seems to possess, feels too real to ignore. Back in Birmingham, Ada confronts Duke about his actions. He openly admits to illegal dealings, including selling stolen medical supplies taken from hospitals. Ada threatens to report him, but Duke remains calm, insisting that no one has the power to stop him now. Ada attempts to gather support from people who once worked with Tommy, hoping to build a case against Duke. But fear has taken over. No one is willing to stand against the Peaky Blinders. Everyone believes that only Tommy has the authority to fix what's happening. At the same time, Tommy's mental state continues to deteriorate. He experiences intense flashbacks to his time in the war, reliving moments of fear, violence. Ko continues pushing him to confront his past. Eventually, Tommy confesses the truth about his brother's death. It wasn't just an accident, it was the result of anger, confusion, and a loss of control. As bombings continue across Birmingham, Ada gathers witness statements, preparing to expose Duke. Meanwhile, Duke proves his loyalty to Beckett by killing a suspected traitor without hesitation. Soon after, Tommy finally makes his decision. He puts on his old clothes and prepares to return to Birmingham, ready to face everything he tried to leave behind. At the same time, Beckett orders Duke to eliminate Ada before she can report him. Duke follows her, watching from a distance, but when the moment comes, he hesitates. He can't bring himself to kill his own family. Beckett, seeing his weakness, steps in and shoots Ada himself, taking the evidence she collected. Tommy senses her death before he even arrives. When he reaches Birmingham and learns the truth, something inside him shifts. He tracks down Duke, confronts him, and forces him to reveal everything about Beckett and the counterfeit operation. Though furious, Tommy also sees the conflict within his son. At the morgue, Tommy stands over Ada's body, finally breaking down. He admits his failures, his guilt, and the mistakes that cost him everything. But he also makes a promise that her death won't be meaningless. Soon after, he encounters Beckett, and the two exchange gunfire before Beckett escapes, setting the stage for a final confrontation. Tommy begins rebuilding the Peaky Blinders, pulling together what remains of his influence. Despite everything, the city begins to rally behind him once more. Duke, overwhelmed by guilt, struggles with his identity and his choices. Ko continues to influence him, suggesting that killing Tommy might be the only way for him to find peace and take his place as leader. Despite their past, father and son agree to work together one last time to stop the Nazi operation. Ada is given a traditional farewell, her body placed in a gypsy cart and set ablaze. Tommy watches in silence, carrying the weight of everything he's lost. Using insider information, Tommy devises a plan to intercept the counterfeit money shipment through underground tunnels. As bombs fall and the city shakes, he pushes through collapsing passages, reliving his war trauma but refusing to stop. At the docks, the final plan unfolds. Explosions destroy incoming shipments, wiping out enemy forces and stopping the operation before it can succeed. Duke ultimately turns against Beckett, choosing to do the right thing. A final battle erupts, with gunfire echoing across the docks. Tommy plants explosives to destroy the remaining counterfeit money, ensuring the plan can never be completed. In a final confrontation, Beckett shoots Tommy, but Tommy manages to kill him in return. As Tommy collapses, bleeding and fading, he looks to Duke and asks him to finish it. After a long moment of hesitation, Duke pulls the trigger. The Peaky Blinders gather in silence, mourning the man who built everything. In the end, Tommy's story is finished. His legacy, like his life, is consumed by fire, leaving behind nothing but memory, myth, and the shadow of a man who once ruled everything. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an update.